Yeah, it was a first year I came back to New Newton. Remember, remember I was loaded up on Uncle Bush's van. He had that custom van with everything in it. And Mamaw got the front seat. But Pepaw sat back there in the back with the rest of us. And I remember our trip going up to Butler County to visit Aunt Sarah. Remember on the way up there, Pepaw back there, and maybe we had a bottle of wild turkey like we always do, sipping on back there in the back. Maybe. But I remember on that trip up there, Pepaw sat back there saying, Susie Lee, you got a cigarette? You got a cigarette? Fuck you, you goddamn bastard! Fuck you! Fuck you! And Mamaw was a bad dog. Mamaw was a bad dog that day. Mamaw overreacting because the rest of us didn't get it. You other ones, you got it. You other ones got it. And Pepaw got away with the shit. That day he got away with it. But us kids, we didn't know. Us grandkids, we didn't know what the fuck was going on. We just thought Mamaw was crazy. He made her out to be fucking crazy that day. And like I said, this is my first time back from Lorraine's back to the Newtons.
Think about that.
I had been.
Think about that on the day when a family of children, after years of being apart from one another, because of fucked up parents and fucked up family, and after years of being separated, they're getting to be reunited. And on the day when that should be a glorious event, you know, some individual takes it upon himself to just quote, what would be his reasoning on something like that, to just all of a sudden say something that he knows is hurtful to someone and crash that event, and what that getting together should be, and throw some kind of bullshit in there in that.
He didn't crash the event. He crashed her.
No,
I still had a good time.
well, you still had
We all had a good time up there eating at Sherry's and Herschel. We all had a good time, but Mamaw didn't.
You still had a good time and all that, but up until that point,
His
he
reasoning,
said that and got her angry and pissed off. See, it was a joyous occasion.
he run it for her.
Like,
He run it for her. That's what the fuck he did.
yeah, but without any consideration of the surroundings.
The rest of us went ahead and had a good time with him. But he run it for fucking her. That's what that big motherfucker with a fucking 12 quarter dick did. Everybody made the joke about Pepaw wearing shorts around here and there. And, hell, it says that motherfucker fucking laid 12 quarters on it. Everybody loved it.
I wouldn't know.
I don't know.
Seen his dick.
I didn't either.
Except why he was stuck up inside Mama one time when I was a kid.
I ain't either, but I that's what I've heard.
They say Harry over here runs Cadillac, got a 16-inch dick. When it's exercised.
It's all fucking good.
I wish I had a 16-inch dick.
I wish I had my mama back. I remember when I left in that blizzard, and I got that ride with them, that young couple picked me up out there in that blizzard I left Lorene's at. I remember they brought me up there, and Mama's door was open. When I walked in, my brother was there, and my uncle, my biggest hero, was there too.
I don't know if I.
And a lot of the bullshit that went on between me and my grandma in the beginning was not between me and my grandma, it was because, well, I had such an admiration for my grandfather. But that was only because I didn't know who the fuck he was.
I love Mom.
Your mom was great.
I don't know that I'd wish life on her anymore.
Huh?
I don't know that I'd want to wish life on her. Bring her back and bring her and stuff like that. But
I would.
she done went through that once. I wouldn't want to see her go through that shit again.
I would. You don't think she wouldn't like to see Shaylin and Blaine?
Oh, she would. She would love to see everybody.
She wouldn't take care of them?
Yeah, she would. She
The
would
Kobe?
all that. But she would still be Mom, and this would still be life. And she would still be a woman struggling. She would have to struggle.
Not no more. Not no more she wouldn't.
Yes, she would, because she wouldn't let nobody else take care of her.
How come my mama fucking passed away? Blood mama passed away, and here we gonna have funeral and everything else. But just fucking bitch fucking Jackie passed away, and now I see everybody boo hoo 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 boo. That Jackie ain't shit, neither is her
You
boy.
seen everybody move?
Huh?
You seen everybody move?
Well, I'm just talking about on Facebook, media stuff, shit, you know. But Mama Sue was not fucking crazy.
No, she wasn't crazy at all.
She get up and she made sure her two boys were taken care of. Her son Mike and her grandson Mike. She took care of them the best she could. Not by the book, not by this. But she fucking
loved
did.
little Michael much more than she did me. She didn't want me always around. She didn't. She wanted me, she wanted her son to grow up and get out and have his own and stuff like that. She wasn't all that impressed with me, but she still loved me. She was still Mom. You know. But, she wasn't totally impressed with me. But Mom was Mom. She was who she was. She was from the day the last day she was here.
You told me today about.
The moment she was, the first day that I can remember.
You told me today, talk about women that get up and they go in there and get fixed up and this and that. Mama ever get fixed up to do anything?
Yes. But not to the extent that other women do, and that was many years ago. You find these old movies back when in the 50s and 60s, and how girls used to put the makeup on them. They didn't, go through the whole face. Putting makeup on back then was like lipstick here, whatever color lipstick you're gonna use, and then the light really got extreme. They come out with the eyeshadows, and then the women started putting all this shit on their eyelashes and
Yeah.
then different eye colors. But that was just the lips and the eyes, and they didn't do a lot about their complexion.
But we're talking about Mama. She put that on too.
A little bit, yeah. when she was in her younger, when she would go AWOL for a while, yeah, because her and Catherine both. Her and Catherine was here at one time in Owensboro. Was happy go lucky girl for the Owensboro Police Department. They even nicknamed Catherine Clappy Cathy. But you know, there's missing days and that shit too. And I never seen any motherfucking thing. But once again, you know, you get when you get fucking abused and you run from that situation and you out there in the world by yourself, you do whatever you make waves, and that's exactly what the fuck she did. She run from an abusive fucking life.
I remember one time living over by in the hospital and I got up and I thought I was doing something good and I filled the coffee pot back up with water. I didn't know you had to change the coffee grounds in there. And I filled it back up and turned that motherfucker on like I seen them do. Papa and Mama. And then later that day, I remember Papa having my mama down there on that fucking floor with a pair of pliers in her mouth. And I'm talking, Mike, when I was about 5 years old.
You know
Over
what
that
they-
fucking coffee.
You know what your mama and her older sisters used to do, that son of a bitch?
No.
That? He always make me some coffee. The girl was making some coffee.
No. No fucking, man, you're fucking lying to me.
No. And I'm talking about back when coffee was made with percolator. He and threw his coffee with it. He was drinking good coffee.
Bullshit.
No, but they did it. But that's, you know,
That's what he got. You mind if I smoke?
no.
I'm
He
gonna
was
quit
really,
one.
he's what he is why all the rest of his siblings aren't close and stuff.
With the rest of us?
With all the Newton family, all the Newton families from Hancock County and stuff, Gary and all them, because all the rest, Grandpa was Grandpa, and Grandpa was a poor man, and my Grandpa still bought places, and he had cattle, he made something of it. You know, he had nothing, he took it from nothing. You know, he didn't have no great jobs or anything, but man, all of Grandpa's kids, the girls always didn't make good choices, yes. But the boys was workers.
Worthless?
Workers.
Workers, yeah.
They made their way. Dad was always, he was a deadbeat. He was a fucking deadbeat motherfucker. And he used Grandpa, and he used everybody, all these others too. He'd find ways to show up just about dinner time at their house. You know, just about eating time. He had good jobs, you know.
He was a good talker.
He went to Whirlpool one time. Blew that away. Worked some car place over in Indiana. Broke that up. Broke out of somebody. He was light up or whatever, but he just always it wasn't right because none of it comes from anything. They all come from nothing. They all made it. And he made it too, but he blew it off too long too.
Get another shot.
Yeah. He blew his opportunity.
He didn't blow his opportunity with Mamaw Sue.
Yeah,
She fell for him.
at one time, but after so long, she wasn't blowing with him. It was on one in and out, in and out, in and out of a relationship.
It was,
Both of them did it best.
but that's what, man, I ran in this like, hold on,
After the first time, she knew what that motherfucker
was about. Alright, so,
When she
hold
come
on,
back,
let me interrupt.
It wasn't because of him and she loved him and stuff. It's because she just needed a place to go. Needed
All right.
something to do.
So let me interrupt. I went to Menards. I went to Menards on Thursday, pick up dog food. And I met this lady after. She said, "You having a good day?" I said, "Yeah, I'm having a pretty decent day." And she was talking about Shelby's dog in the car seat. Somebody says, "No, somebody's bitching at you." I said, "Well," and I told her the story that, hey, my daughter's dog and this and that and blah, 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 blah. Told her about my daughter's problem with her boyfriend, this and that. And she told me, she said, "I'm with a man right now, and I've been married to him for 32 years. And I was married before. And I told him, there's 3 things you need to know about me. When he asked me to marry him, I told him, there's 3 things you need to know about me. And she said, number 1, you hit me, you hurt me, I'm gonna fucking kill you. I'm gonna fucking kill you. Number 2, you fuck around on me, I'm gonna do it with twice as many and twice as fast. Number 3, I don't remember right now. But and man, this lady told me after Perfect Stranger told me, and she reminded me so much of Aunt Sue, Mamaw Sue.
You see, some people like that, they just want, they want to be an individual. That's all she ever wanted was to be an individual, wanted to be her own person.
And equals.
Wasn't always, she wanted to be somebody's wife, somebody's grandmother, somebody this, somebody that. She just wanted to be Sue. And life is supposed to work into it, it's all supposed to come together like basically watercolors on a.
Easy. Love should be easy.
It's supposed to come together.
Yeah. Supposed to flow together.
It's just a part of something.
It ain't gotta be made up. It ain't gotta be forced.
It's supposed to be. It's just a part of something.
What about brass knuckles? Mama ever carried brass knuckles?
Well, she's had all kinds of shit in her pockets before. I've never known her just to carry anything.
But she had anything at any time. Something.
Yeah, she, at one time, she used to carry a long stiletto. And she was stinky.
She had it back up plan.
No, our plan was to carry that motherfucker just in case somebody fucked with me. Well, like I said, but that was when, you know, when she was still working in restaurants or something, running with Catherine. Her and Catherine was the same thing.
She knew them motherfuckers could do anything that she was prepared.
The difference between her and Catherine was the people that Catherine left her children with was Thurman. And he was an ace guy,
It was what?
an ace guy.
Good.
Yes. And I mean, he didn't stray course from any goddamn course. Rules, regulations, he was straight to, you know, we don't break rules, and just, he's supposed to do what is the way it is. And that wasn't because of what his terminology, the way things is. So you don't do things because of the way he thinks you ought to do things because he's grown up in your man. Because that's the way the rules are. And that's who he would stay there. And he didn't stray, he didn't cheat, he didn't none of that. He took care of
But Mama, because Mama was married, she wouldn't. Mama would accept on her little weekend adventures. She'd accept people that wasn't so rule bound like Thurman was to leave her kids with. Cause her kids were, huh? Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Still worked, I don't know where he did it for the baby.
But I'm talking about Mama. The difference
For the
between.
babysitting stuff, the Thurman went to fucking work and Whirlpool, and then Thurman got off, and Thurman come home, Thurman stayed home with his kids.
What about Mama? But Mama, that Thurman was Aunt Catherine's great Aunt Catherine's man. That Mama had a man that did what he did, and Mama, on her weekend adventures, would have a different man that did something else.
Well, between them two, Catherine found a good guy, Mom didn't. Dad would, you know, Dad raised two best, I don't know, not best he could, you know, when he had it, he had it, when he didn't, she did, I guess. But, he wasn't about that. We were a disposition to him. They tried to give us away. On Rockport, he tried, me and Maribel even took a trip one time with that guy who used to Wolford. You ever heard of Wolford's Mobile Homes? You take sell mobile homes over Rio. Wolford's Mobile Homes. His Wolford, he paid one year, they paid our utilities, he paid our utilities for a year. I tell them we lived on Highway 45. He had some families and shit, people did, you know, that kind of thing. But he come out there one time, picked me and Maribel up, and took us into Rockport. It wasn't a homeless shelter. It was for what the places were, kids are, the ways for people to adopt them. They took us to a Christmas party. They was having a Christmas party when that place. He took me and Maribel there and was talking to us about how would y'all like to live in a place like this. So, you know, now, the party's fine, but no. So,
Me and my sister Jamie went to a place. Me and my sister Jamie went to a place that they call Bria's Baptist School for Children. And it looked good.
still your dad was, you know, he was doing that to us. He was trying to find a way out.
And make money. What you tell me one time? Your refrigerator was empty, but the insurance on life insurance is
He
up.
always had insurance.
Who?
My dad always had insurance on life insurance on his.
Well, but y'all didn't always have food.
Well, the table was always bare. But the insurance policy was always kept up. And when the family got out to do family thing, it wasn't to go to Basswood fucking Park. It wasn't to go to Santa Claus Land. We go across the goddamn river and go swimming. Where a child could, I mean, you could walk way out there. Over on the other side of that
But it
river.
was dangerous.
It's sand, but where's the goddamn Ohio River? It's what it is. And you can walk way the fuck out there. When you got 6, 7, 8, 9 kids, and you up on the bank and then you just take it all up on the bank, disappearing with the bitch so you can fuck her, and you leave the kids down there swimming in the goddamn Ohio River. If one come missing, you know, there was an insurance policy covering that. You die of all tree branches hanging out in the water, you're dead. Place you can take it to swim. Every place that we ever went to do anything was places where you could get fucking killed.
Without anything in the refrigerator.
You kept that insurance policy up.
The insurance policy was paid up. A lot of people in our family right now are doing this Ancestry.com, genealogy.com, and they're finding out who they're related to. But you're skipping out on who fucking raised them. And this is who raised
The people of this blood have excellent minds. The reason so many people of this blood, the new blood, so many reasons, so many of them is having bad ways in life, is because of their own fucking failures and shit. It ain't life. But life has always been there for them to grab and take and get whatever. Because you can see that out of a bunch of them up in Hancock County. The reason the ones that ain't doing so well is because they're not going the right way. This is their own shit.
I've always recognized that I was lucky. I was lucky that I'm one of 5. I'm one of 5 of my mother's children. And you know what? All my brothers and sisters are still alive. I'm a lucky motherfucker. There have been few of us every generation that we lose a child. We talked about Uncle Ray, and we drove past my cousin Sylvia today. Few of us, and we can mention Angie and Aunt Marcia's losses. A lot of us have walked and survived shit that should have killed us. But most of us have survived anything that came at us. And it didn't come from my grandfather, that came from my grandmother's side. The line side of the fucking family is why not the line side, but my grandmother is why I've survived, not my grandfather. Or maybe I got the story backwards, I don't know.
See, everybody used to think
I got this on video.
out of all the kids.
I've been recording us for 20 minutes, and I want to pass this on because, hey, me and you have a fucking moment, and when you get to talking, you tell the fucking truth. And I want to share this. There's gonna be a day when I'm not around here. There's gonna be a day when you're not around here, and I want the fucking truth out there. And this is not shit you can get off the fucking internet. This is shit you can only get from the truth of somebody that lived it. And you lived it, Uncle Mont, from the get-go.
Well, I thought it was good, but all the rest of them lived it too.
But they ignore it. Me and you was out there at Uncle Butch's and
Maybe
he,
that's the way of doing it. Everybody don't do things the same way.
me and you was out there at Uncle Butch's, fucking 2 months, a month and a half ago. He denied. And then accused me, and then somebody said we pulled his pants down. Didn't either one of us do that, did we?
Yeah, you and his son.
Pull his
But,
pants.
yeah, y'all pulled his pants down, but y'all didn't per se look at him and say, hey, look, he's fucked up. Let's fuck with him and pull his britches down and make fun or nothing like that. There's no way fucking. That wasn't why anybody pulled his pants down. The reason y'all pulled his pants down is because he was standing there beside of me, leaning on the car, and he passed out, standing up. And then you and his son come and got him, and got one on each side, and picked him up and carried him in his house. And the way y'all picked him up and carried him in his house, one on each side, that's how his pants come down. Y'all picked him up and carried him in his house and laid him on the couch right there in front of his wife and laid him down. So evidently, while y'all was carrying him like this, his britches come down off his butt. But the shit about somebody pulling his pants down, I imagine it's made up anyway. Because when Mary Ann started out every time, and you done walked out of the house, the trailer. And I said, we didn't come here for this. We didn't come here to get him like this. We come here to bring him back. And I pointed down on that box of food that we took up there. And I turned around and left. And as I was turning to walk out that fucking door, because there's the door when you stand there looking at her ass. Or her, not her ass, per se. But her sitting there in that fucking chair in the corner. Same goddamn place she's sitting every time you seen her. Same goddamn place she's been ever since I've been up there, ever since they've lived there. Sitting there in that corner in that chair, condemning. And I walked out, and as I was doing that, Bush started raising up off the couch. Hey, and I just walked on out and went up.
Yep.
If you remember, we had a plan to go up there and do exactly what we did.
Take on
But
some
then
food.
if you
Take on
also
some food.
remember, for some reason, I feel like I didn't want to go. But you talked me into go on and go up there.
We had a plan the day
You
before.
told me to go ahead and go up there anyway.
Yep. I remember.
I was having remorse about going. But we went anyway.
You did.
And I done explained that to Sheriff. We went up there totally with goodwill.
I do.
Total goodwill.
Me and you made a
Wow,
me
we went
and
up
you
there.
made a pact and a plan the night before.
To take him a box of chips.
On
And it was
you.
because-
I'm worried about my brother. I'm worried about my brother. I want to make sure my brother got everything.
Because of where he lived, and we knew that the winter
And I
months
said,
was
okay.
coming up.
And I said,
Winter
okay,
months was coming
I'll
up.
show up tomorrow and we're gonna do it. And when I called you up, you said, oh, no, I'm not doing it. I said, no,
That's something I was thinking about.
no. And I told you, you said no.
But we did it anyway.
Yep,
You
we
talked
did it
me
anyway.
into it. And man, and you know what? We carried out
On a good day.
what we started with the very first, we carried out.
We
All
did.
the rest of the other bullshit, they didn't go exactly the way it,
It should've. But we did what we made plans to do, and we did it. It didn't turn out that way. And
Did you that day, did you see your brother and husband?
Nope.
Your brother and husband?
nope. Nope. I seen that day, that day, I seen my grandfather reaching out.
Nobody asking for it.
No, I seen my grandfather reaching out to, hey, take my side. That's what I seen out of my other uncle. The difference between my Uncle Butch and my Uncle
You know
Mike
what?
was my Uncle Butch was like, hey,
You know what?
take my side, not his side.
Still do it tomorrow, right?
We're gonna do what we do because we're good people.
For the same fucking reason.
We're
It's
gonna look out.
It's because I know what family's about. And then regardless of how anybody else in this motherfucking world acts, my only weight is me. As long as I do what I think, I can't complain. Say one goddamn word about a family not being a family if I act like everybody else. So before I can say a fucking word about it, I gotta be willing to be the one that steps up and do something about it. I can't complain if I'm just like what I'm complaining about, can I?
Nope.
So,
I agree. True story.
Yes, it is.
True motherfucking story.
So regardless of everything else, I'm still walking that bloodline.
You
I'm
am.
carrying it.
You am who you am.
Yeah, but I'm carrying it. I'm still good people.